Hello, welcome to the basement. As I said, I'm going to get a tape gun and put together a box that has been previously broken down so I can put things in it. To send away. I haven't decided yet. I guess this one will probably be for my brother. I think. So we'll see. I guess pretty much as soon. Oh, there, I'll put it over here for a second. As I start to put things in there, I will know what it is. And so at this moment, I'm going to put these things that should be flat in there for him. Oh, okay. Now that does seem to be black and white. So maybe I'll put this up here. Right. Now there's something I'm going to do here. I went looking. I don't drink a whole bunch. Not hardly ever. But there was this stuff I used to like called Twisted Raspberry by Smirnoff. First it was in the bottles, then it was in cans, and I went in and they didn't have any of it. I said, oh, there's trouble. So I decided I would get one can of this stuff. It's called Magnota Craft Raspberry Apple Cider. Flavored cider. 473 milliliters, 5.6 alcohol by volume. And once again, I do not drink much, but I thought I would just give this a try. I like apple juice. I did try another cidery thing, and it said it was strong, and it was strong. It was too strong. So I'm just going to let this caress my nostrils. And it does indeed smell kind of raspberry. And kind of cidery, which I guess makes sense. For me, if I'm going to drink something, be it with or without alcohol, I have to like the taste. For example, recently, I've done my best, and Coke is pretty much gone. This has not been easy. And people say, oh, you could drink the Coke Zero or the Diet Coke or the... You know what? It just doesn't do it. So if I don't like the taste, I'm not going to drink it. So primarily, I've been drinking water, which I think it is quite dandy. Quite dandy. I like it cold, really cold. I do. So I think I will put some of these things. Oh yes, Minden says goodbye to 3 of the greatest. So. Oh yeah, there was. Oh, I remember this. There was a fellow. He was the barber in the town. There was a hunt cabin. And it was horrid. I don't know. And one of the guys supposedly ran back in, but never came back out. Anyway, there are, of course, pictures in this edition of this that I took. Should I save this? Yeah, I probably should. And that. And there's a picture of a young me. Young me. So I should find a thing. Anyway. I should. And these, I will decide on what happens with these. I'm just not sure yet. Certainly, the Norman Rockwell thing. Let's see what, oh, here's something. And if you don't know about Norman Rockwell, look it up. Oh, here's a great one. Marriage counselor. I'm going to read this. Although Norman Rockwell tends to avoid extreme situations in his art, he does not attempt to present the world that is devoid of conflict. Many of his best works derive their energy from the differences of opinion that erupt in everyday life. In particular, Rockwell has never suggested that married life is a bed of roses. Domestic squabbles and disappointments have long been one of his stocks in trade. Seldom, however, has he given us cause to think that his marriage partners were in danger of being driven to consult with a marriage counselor. The couple who finds himself in this counselor's waiting room seems so young that it is impossible for us to feel that their problems are too advanced to be solved. We can tell from their clothes that they are taking this visit seriously. Very seriously. His pose with arms stiffly folded suggests he is doing his best to remain unmoved. Her sidelong glances that she may be a little more flexible. We're encouraged to think, in fact, that if the counselor leaves them in the waiting room for long enough, they might well resolve the differences without his or her intervention. The composition is interesting and rather unusual. Half of the painting is taken up by the office door, which in its blankness seems to symbolize the unknown territory they're about to enter. And I will turn this around, and hopefully you're looking on the big screen, you can see this. Anyway, here, I'm trying to get there is the office door that says marriage counselor. There is the he and the she sitting there, and he is obviously sporting a black eye. Mahaha. Anyway, Norman Rockwell was a genius. Indeedy. So I'm going to put this prophecy thing aside to make sure I get it. Alex, this stuff here, this is funny stuff. I may actually use this as a small backdrop to take pictures of small things. Always looking for something interesting. Now, well, let's see here. What do we have? The family section, September 13th, 1975, of the Toronto Star. The whole family's involved in getting Mother elected. Who is Mother? Family Solidarity is helping Barbara, oh no, Beardsley, new Democratic Party candidate in St. Andrews, St. Patrick, go through campaign discussing tactics over supper. Of chili con carne are the candidates seated at the left, Ruth 20, standing, John 17, Robin 14. Bob Beardsley, who is the school principal, and Phyllis 18. Interesting. I don't know what happened, if they were elected or they were not. Anyways, once again, this paper is, it's a big sucker, 1975, so 40, almost 50 years ago. Oh, Truscott, a memorable murder case becomes a very dull movie. I seem to remember this. I don't remember. Was he eventually found not guilty? CBLT is curing its identity crisis with a new face. Ross McLean. Ooh. What is this? Toronto Star, Hollywood's French Canadians, by Pierre Burton. That is vintage. And of course the comics. Anyway, this too will go into somewhere where there are vintage newspapers. Let's see here. All right. Let's try a little more of this. It's a big can. It's not bad, although, you know, I'm still going to keep looking for that stuff. Former Kitchener Line of the Year gets 3.5 years for bingo fraud. What do we have here? Oh, Toronto Star, Wednesday, July 30th, 1975. I would have been 10, exactly, on that day. Gerald Ledane named federal court judge. Oh, look. An ad for the Demon Tobacco. Oh, here's something that's, I mean, it's more timely now, but see, the whole thing about abortion has evolved. Another 200 Montreal doctors have added their names to a petition admitting they have performed or been involved in the performance of abortions. A petition of 116 doctors made public in May led to an investigation by Montreal Urban Community Police. There are now more than 200 names that the police have to go after, said Dr. Pierre Vines, coordinator for the medical section of the Canadian Association for the Repeal of the Abortion Law. The doctors who signed the May petition did so in support of Dr. Henry Morgentaler, who is serving an 18-month jail sentence for performing illegal abortions. Oh, yeah. Simpsons. What is this? Inventory. Simpsons budget floor. They're clearing things out at Simpsons. What is here? Oh. What is this? Violence hits Detroit again. Oh my. 21 countries lift Cuban trade ban. Solid light tuna, 53 cents, 7-ounce tin. Young turkey, 73 cents a pound. Where is this from? Oh, IGA. I will see. Stuff. Now this here, what is this? I don't know. July 30th, 1970. Oh, it's the Roughies Cut Short Al's Rally. Oh, I guess that's the Rough Riders. Now what is there's a picture of soccer people on the front here. And, of course, right now Canada's doing things in soccer. Canadians absorb a soccer lesson. Oh. Cool right hand. Jack Brand, goalkeeper for Canada's national soccer team, used a fist to punch the ball away from his area during a game against powerful German Democratic Republic club at Varsity Stadium last night. The East German player is identified. Germans 8th in the World Cup competition last year, had too much experience for Canadians who played well, according to coach Bob McAllister. Ooh. Football has a black coach, Willie Wood. Supposedly, Willie Wood, the former National Football League great, became the first black professional head football coach in 50 years yesterday, but he didn't have much time to celebrate. So who? Oh, Wood saw the new head coach of the World Football League's Philadelphia Bell had to start preparing his team today for the season opener here Saturday. Whew, that's pretty fast. Ontario man is jailed for setting a barn fire. Eskimos lucky to beat Bombers after dismal start. Interesting to look back in time. This is one of the things they're talking about. It's more and more local papers are dying, and there's a lot of little stories that will never be written. Oh, here's the thing up in the top corner: Burton and Templeton, 10:05 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. 590 CKAY. Yes, Pierre Burton did a lot of things. An added attraction: Craig Ruoff, 6, from Germany, offers food to a duck nesting in a planting box outside a beer garden in Ontario Place. The duck seems to accept attention. Thousands of visitors enjoying waterfront showplace. Restaurant stall provides food and water. With Craig are Dorothy and Tom Golding of Mississauga. Yep, there is a duck nesting in a planter just over the railing at a restaurant. Cool. Oh, here. Premier's talk with McMurtry fuels speculation of candidacy. Aha. The card is unsigned, but has election overtones. Premier William Davis received it, along with a cake at Queen's Park to mark his 45th birthday yesterday. Aha! Car kills man working on the road. A workman was struck by a car and killed while patching cracks in the road yesterday afternoon. Thomas Finnegan, 21, of Spin Valley Drive in Downsview, was working on the northbound curb lane of the East Mall at the Dundas Street underpass when he was struck and carried 30 feet down the road. Ouch. Anyway, newspapers. A peek into the past. Now here, this is a newspaper, Carpet Enemy, the voice of Earl Haig. And I knew I was there. I worked there. And I wonder if there's any why I would have saved this one. I'm not sure. High school credits in Ireland. Reality TV. Have a reality check. All night Carpet Anatomy art thing. Get into the theater. Procrastination tips. Rugby girls prove that they like it rough. Forecasting reliefs. Girl field hockey returns. Oh. It seems I had pictures in here too. It seems I did find yeah. We often would set up like photo booth things and shoot people. Here's some more Halloween things, and courtesy of me and someone named Carmen. Indeed. Anyway, you see, let me tell you the story of how it became that I would carry a camera. When I first got to Lawrence Park, our security camera was a Polaroid. So if there was somebody around who was likely up to no good, it had no zoom, by the way. You pretty much had to sort of walk up and say, "Hi, I know you're here, to do bad things. And if you could just stand there really still, I'd like to shoot a picture of you." Yeah. Although there were times it did do interesting things. That's a whole other story. Anyway, then we got a digital camera. It's a computer disc. I think it was supplied by the company who did our yearbook. Anyway, so then now it had a zoom, and still it was only 1 megapixel, but it was better. So there were times that I would take this and go out onto the world if we thought there was trouble or had to get a picture of a car or a license plate or whatever. But soon I realized that if I only carried the camera when there was bad things going on, that the kids would know there were bad things going on. So I started to not carry it all the time, but I took pictures at games and other events and happenings and here and there, mostly games and things. And then we started to put up little displays of pictures from the games, and of course pass on pictures to I guess there was a newspaper and the yearbook, and there really wasn't like the online stuff now. But it became very good. When I got to Earl Hague, I continued with this, and eventually, I'm trying to see here. No, I'm not listed here. But eventually, I became, for the school newspaper, I was listed as the photographer. And anyway, it was great. It was really, and also it meant that the 1.1% of the time that there was a reason to try and get pictures of like intruders or people who we suspected of up to bad things and stuff, meant that there was no big thing for me to walk around with a camera. I was always carrying a camera. I often get summoned to an interesting thing going on in the classroom, and did headshots for various clubs, and donated time to come in on the weekend and record the play when no one was there. So they, would have nice, the best. Anyway, the sound must not have been great, but anyway, we did good things. I remember one time I had said, yeah, okay, I'm just whipping over to the baseball game. It was the last game of the season, and it ended up they won the championship. I got there just in time to hear the crack of the bat for the big winning home run, and then so I was literally lying on my stomach with my camera sitting in the grass, so you get this great shot of like the team pitcher. My phone went off. It was the vice principal asking something, and I said, "Can I call you back? I'm literally on my stomach on the grass, just about to shoot a picture of the Earl Hague team, and yes, they did win in dramatic fashion." He said, "Oh, okay." So I called back. Anyway, it was good. I didn't do much video stuff, but I did do some. Oftentimes we have speakers in the library of various sorts, and basically I would take a camera, I would set it on a tripod because I couldn't really stay, and pick a wide thing, but they were talking about a microphone, and pick a wide shot, and hopefully it didn't wander too much, and record it, and then pass it on to, I don't remember which group and which club and which whatever, but anyway, it was recorded. And also, see, here's another thing. When I was at Lawrence Park, there was a thing once where a guy was suspended for 3 days because supposedly he mooned the crowd. Well, I didn't see it. But eventually, once I got to Earl Hague, they had these assemblies called these SOPS assemblies. That was the student organization to promote school spirit. And at some point, after I'd been there for a while, somebody suggested that whatever group they were in and whatever they were doing, they'd really like it recorded so that they could send it off to, or, have it viewable by distant relatives. And I said, oh, okay. So I did that, and then, but recorded other things too, and then it just became a tradition. So it was funny, some people said, how did you come up with that? I said, well, I really didn't. Somebody asked me to do it, and I said, okay. And I know, like, there are still people who check in on, like, the like, I set up and shot the entire graduation ceremony. And there are still people who look at that from way back when, and even right at the time, like, there are people in Toronto, of course, they have relatives all over the place, and not in Canada, the States, all over the world. And they can't come to their graduation, and also their tickets were limited usually. But they can send them a message to say, hey, look at the 56 minute and 20 seconds. You'll see me. There I am. So anyway, it was a great thing. Unfortunately, some people don't understand brilliance and greatness and such. And anyway, so that all abruptly stopped. And that's a whole other story. But that comes down to sometimes you have management who are inspiring, and they understand that when everybody's doing good things, that they look good. And then you have management that are controllers who don't trust anybody and who are to basically control absolutely everything and second guess everything. And I've got examples, even ask you specifically to do something and then give you grief for doing it. Beautiful. Beautiful. And of course, good people end up suffering in silence, putting up with the abuse. And this is not how it should be. Anyway, I have more things to do here. This couch, which I know you can't see, it's still lots of stuff here, but it's coming along. I will keep on keeping on. And see what else. I see one thing over here. It's a printer. It's a Commodore printer. And I should check it out. Not chuck it out. Check it out. But I do, over here, is stuff that I've kind of gone through, but I really haven't, gotten rid of yet. Or sorted. Well, I've sorted, but I haven't moved it to see what's what. To get it to its where it needs to go. Because that sorting is one thing, but then figuring out what's what. For example, like here, I've got now, I can't reach them, the things that you would use to climb a telephone pole, or perhaps a lumberjack would use to climb a tree. And I've decided, indeed, that I will try and sell them, because I'm not going to use them. I'm not going to throw them out. As I remember, there was somebody who I knew who helped in a church that some things are, too useless to use, but too sacred to throw out. So I suspect there's somebody out there, maybe with a restaurant person or a lumberjack bar or something other, that would love to hang these on the wall. Or perhaps there's somebody who, by adding new straps and such to them, might actually use them. They still look to be in fine shape, and they still have the little pointy daggers that would, keep them safe. So I will see about this. I shall. Anyway, so yes, I am working on I'm moving stuff from over there, over here, and now I'm working on stuff here, over here, and I will continue to go through things. There's also a computer monitor here, and yeah, I will have to see what's what. Of course, monitors now are those flat screen things that everybody uses. Hardly anyone uses a CRT monitor, but they do use them, of course, on shows and things and period piece things. And yep, I like that better than the other one. I do. Anyway, so thanks for coming. We shall continue to work on things here. Until we meet again, have a lovely, lovely day. Bye for now.